Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I forgot what the series is called. One moment. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Invitation to Puzzles, the series whose name I totally remember, and will say almost practically kind of remembered on the first try. Today we have a PhoenixAki puzzle. So this is variant Sudoku 101 puzzle for Renban lines, which you may or may not know are my favorite of all the Sudoku constraints, so I am excited. The tutorial series puzzles tend to combine fog here so that you're encouraged to focus on the places that matter first. I have given you a link to this puzzle in the description down below. So let's go ahead and give it a try. Go ahead and give it a try yourself first if you want. And let's get started. Okay, so I see the break-in, which is that... I should probably say what a Renban line is first, by the way. A Renban line, one of these purple lines, it needs to have a string of consecutive digits in some order. So the order is arbitrary. It can be an order, it cannot be. So as the example says, it could be 456, 465, 564. Be your own number order. Don't let anyone tell you what order numbers go in. That's totally up to you, as long as they form a consecutive sequence. You cannot skip anything, please. The key here is going to be what these given nines do to these two Renban. So I am going to color just randomly. So the orange nines, what they do is that within row 1 and within row 9, they tell me the 9 is definitely in yellow. And so this is a string of 7 consecutive digits that includes a 9. And so you can actually just sort of start at 9 and count backwards. 9, 8, 7, 6, 6, 5, 4, 3. That is my 7-digit sequence. And so we have, I don't say this very often, 2 septuples in row 1 and row 9. And what those do is to say, well, what's left over is a 1 and a 2. Okay, so here is one of my very favorite Renban tricks, which is to ask yourself if this could really be a 1. And by very similar logic, if this digit was a 1, then these would be a 2, 3, and the problem is that then this would be a nothing. Basically, there's not a 1 and a 2 left in this column, because there's a 1, 2 pair in the column. And therefore, I have to pick which of 1 and 2 I would like. And I better not pick 1, because if I pick that I want a 1, I definitely need a 2, and I'm just not allowed to have 1. So that's a 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. I put it in exactly backwards. I said I'm not allowed to make this a 1, and then I made it a 1. How about that? That's better. So these are a 3, 4. So these are at least not 3, 4. Okay, and now we can say that these have to be 7, 8. And so PhoenixAki has here set this up so that this now ropes. So I can get rid of the coloring, by the way. Unless you're really into the coloring. So this now ropes, which all that means is that if I look at where 7 and 8 and 9 go now in box 5, they have to go across. Oops. Minor technical disasters aside. We were talking about where 7, 8, and 9 go in this box. And the key point here is the 7, 8, 9 triples rule 7, 8, 9 out of these cells. So the 7, 8, 9 just live here. But we now have a similar story to before, where if I make this a 9, I have a problem, which is that I need an 8 on this Renban, and I can't have it because the 8 would be over there. So this can't be a 9. If I make this an 8, I need a 7 on this Renban, but that doesn't work either because the 7 would be over there. So this has to be the 7. which now makes these be a 5, 6. Now I can actually sort out that 5, 6 if I'm willing to think slightly more. Namely, where does the 5 go in this box? It definitely goes down here, right? And so that looks back and tells me that that's a 6 and that's a 5. So these digits are not 5, 6, or 7. Likewise, the 6 goes over up there. Oh, I see. It also wants me to fill in this digit, because if I look at this column and I just ask what's left in this column is 6, 7, and 8, but that one's not a 7 or an 8, so that is a 6. I can even fill in. Likewise over here, this is a 2, 3, 4 because of the lack of a 1. So these are a 5, 6, 7, 8, and that's not a 7 or an 8, so that's a 5. Like that. That's 7, 8 tells me these aren't 7 or 8. Okay. So this Renban now, if I look at it, it has a 6 on it. But notice neither of these cells can be 7 because of 2 7, 8 pairs that both look at this 6. So that means this has to be 6, and I have to go down from the 6 to 5 and 4. That just can't be a 5 by Sudoku, so that's the 5 and that's the 4. Okay, this. Oh, that 1 now, by the way, I didn't actually notice. That now gives me a 2. That now gives me a 2 over there. Just for the record. Yes, there's definitely a 3 in here, I feel like. I don't know exactly. Let's look at this triple. These are 1, 2, and 3. One's not the 2. The 5, that's not the 4. At the very least. Well, I certainly know that these are from 1, 2, 3, 4. Just by the row. I've got the 5, the 6, the 7, and the 8, and the 9. So one of these two is a 4. Just for whatever that is worth. So this Renban's going to need a 4 no matter what, because I don't know if there's a 6 on it. There could be, but I know there's not a 7 on it, because, again, neither of these cells can be a 7. So I have to go down at least once. I can't go only up. And as soon as I go down, I run into a 4. But that 4, remember, in this box is up there. So this is the 4, which means that's the 4. So this is a 3 or a 6, and I don't know which. Oh, I can fill in, by the way, that's a 3, that's a 4. Oh, apparently it's, oh, right, it's not a 3 or a 6, right. So now it is a 3, and that's a 1. Which gives me a 3 and a 2 and a 1. That's a 2. Oh, we've got a T-bone shaped Renban. Very nice, very nice. 4, 3, 4. You have a lot of flexibility when you're deciding what shape to make your Renban, so make them pretty. That is my official Renban advice. Okay, so these are, just for the record, well, one of them is a 1 and the other's a 4, right? Yeah, these are 1, 4. So we know that there is a 3 on this Renban, and we actually know where it is exactly, because we've got to connect the 1 and the 4. So there's a 2 and a 3. In fact, we actually just know that these are 2, 3, 5, and 6, right? Because this is a length 6 Renban, yeah. And we start counting at 1. Well, the 3 is ruled out of all of those, so that's the 3. Seemingly the only digit this can be is a 2. So we can do that. So these are 5, 6. These aren't the 3. So in fact, actually the 3 in the bottom row we have placed. I really should not have filled this all in, but I thought it was the easiest way to articulate what was happening, but it has just made this row look like a mess, and I keep not looking at it because it's a mess. And there's surely no way to remedy the fact that I filled it in with a bunch of digits and now it looks like a mess and I don't want to look at it. So we're just going to make do with the fact that now we can sort of 3 by Sudoku there. These digits, let's see, I guess I don't know exactly what they are. I do know these aren't 5 or 6. While we are at it, let's see. We know we've got a 5, 6, and 9 floating around in this box. I see. Okay, so that 5, 6 pair is looking into this box, and it's doing something quite powerful, which is that it is pressing the 5 and the 6 into these 2 cells, and in so doing, ruling 9 out of this cell and pushing 9 in this box into that cell, which has made that an 8, which now gives me a 7 and an 8 and a 9 and an 8. Like that. Now these are an actual 4, 7, 9 triple. This is a 1, which gives me the 4 and the 1. That has become a 2 now that that Renban has popped out. Let's see. What are these pairs over here? One of these is a 1, and it's that one. That's a 7. This would be the 8 and the 7. These are... Let's see. Oh, that's the 5, 6 pair, so that's the 8. So these are 5, 6, and 9. That's not the 5. Good. Neither of those are 7, 8. Kind of already knew that, but we'll take it. Okay, what are these digits? Let's see. We've got a 2 and a 3, it looks like. And that one is the 3, so that one's the 2. So that's a 3, just to make the Renban do the Renban thing. There's a 4 and a 3 over there. See that these are 6, 7, or 8, 9, but I don't really want to think about it yet, I don't think. Let's see. Maybe I do. Yeah, I will. Where does 1 go in row 3? So the thing I noticed is that, like, once there's a bunch of low numbers here that make this not low. So this is certainly from 6, 7, 8, 9. You can actually say it's not exactly 7, 8, but I don't really care about that. But what I do care about is the fact that I do need to put a 1 in this row somewhere, and I just ruled it off of that, and it can't go there just by Sudoku, so it goes there. I'd probably figure out, like, this I know is at least a 6. This can only be 6 or 9, actually, if you just look at the ropes. It can only be 6 or 9, because it's 6, 7, 8, or 9, but there's a 7 and an 8 gone. So this can't be 9, actually, because then it would have to be 9, 8, 7, but the problem is that digit can't be 8 or 7. So this is actually definitely the 6, which lets me fill in some more of the mess I made up here. Okay, now that digit just is 9 via 7, 8 pair. So 9 and 8 gives me a 7 and an 8, gives me a 7 and an 8. So this is a 3 or a 4, but 3 is not close enough to 6. I'd need to make this cell a 4 and a 5 simultaneously. We're not there yet. So that's a 4 and that's a 5 to make that work. Let's see, there's a 6, 5, 9, 5, 6. Let's see, we can do 3 there. Let's see, that seems to be now a 6, a 7, a 4, a 5, and an 8. 7 and 4, 6 and 5, and now we seem to be done with this puzzle. Lovely puzzle there. Maybe I'm not quite as close to it as I thought. Yeah, I am. I just need to fill in these digits. One of these is a 1, and one of them is a 7. Very nice creation there by PhoenixAki. So huge thank you to PhoenixAki for creating these, and we'll be back with more Invitation to Puzzles very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.